Hey guys, Acesup here, battling away as always, ready to play. And this session, well, it has been tough, let me tell you. Haven't won any all-ins yet, and yeah, it's been a real struggle. I've been playing okay, not great. Made a couple of sort of small mistakes. But more than that, I think I've just been missing a few spots, so I have tried to refrain from playing too many tables. I'm on 11 at the moment. There's a few more going to pop up soon. But I don't want to get up to sort of 18 or anything like that, I think. But having said that, I have decided to mix in a couple of tournaments from other sites. And so you see the AAA, of course, which we do play a lot. But also a B-Win tournament and iPoker tournament. So we'll probably see them come up pretty soon. And I haven't really been playing many of those sites because they've had some connection issues, disconnection, problems with disconnects, and it's just not something you want to have to deal with when you're playing a bunch of tables. If a 20's popped up or if you've DC'd, I mean, a few times I've even tried to email support, not recently, but, in the past, while I'm multi-tabling, hey, what's going on, I can't connect, I want my money back, and things like that, which is a bit of a nightmare while you're trying to play. So, what I might just do, guys, actually, too, is I might just cut down the screens a bit here, so everything's a bit clearer. Just keep the juicy ones in the middle here. Just a bit more clarity. There we go. I've been watching a couple of the replays, and there we go. I'll just try a bit of that for now. See how that goes. A little bit easier to see the stack sizes of that. So the 100 rebuy, as always, we're doing okay. I mean, it's a tournament I always run pretty deep in, and we're 29 of 90. I think we fell just short of the money yesterday. Well, not just short, but we were getting deep and then busted that yesterday. What else we played today? We played the 265 bounty. We got a bit unlucky in spotting that. What else did we play? That was just the normal sort of lineup, I think. And as I started, I had a couple of distractions. Had to do a little bit of website stuff while I was playing when the first few tables popped up, and I just had a meal before, and so just turned the camera on a little bit later in the session today than I did yesterday. I just had some chicken and rice, so all ready to play. Top right, I just have to call because, well, pot odds. And even if he had showed us, his hand, then we obviously are still going to play in that spot. And it was the right on the time for the rebuys. Well, the out on, I should say, so that's good. This is an interesting hand bottom left here. This guy's 3-bet me a couple of times. I don't know, 3-bet by position. He doesn't really 3-bet that much. 3, 6, 7, 1 is 8. We're very deep, so I think just calling is probably the best option. And it's a pretty nasty flop. The thing is that a lot of his light 3-bets are probably going to contain a hand with an ace. Like, sorry, I just had a funny hand on the other table, guys. I'll just show you this one here. You can see I'm not using the stack and tile at the moment. That's the only problem with having the 4 in the middle like this. Is stack and tile automatically wants to keep everything balanced. So let's have a look here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to fold it now. He may have been going for a delayed c-bet. Hard to say. It's kind of close. I guess once in a while he could have 9s or 8s and just think, hey, I'm going to bet. I think I have the bit, like, I'm just going to protect. I think I probably have the best hand. He's checked twice. If he calls, I'll probably just give up river. I don't know if he 3-bets that sort of condensed range depolarized all those sort of middling hands at this stack depth, but he certainly might. So I'll just show you this hand here. It's kind of amusing, where we flop the nuts and get jammed on. Always nice to flop the nuts and get jammed on, isn't it? So I think I will just bet small on this board. It just saves sort of... It just saves sort of giving up. If he fires turn on us, we do fold out better hands. There's a lot of sort of slightly better pairs and that sort of thing that we can fold out. See if we get some video run good going here. I think I'm going to call here. It's pretty marginal, but min raise on the button, unknown guy. He's got his gold stars out. So even out of position with the connector, I think it's not too bad a spot. I'm just going to give up on that flop. Top left, I almost went for it on the river. I have a bet, but yeah. I think we probably fold out 8s, but maybe not. The way the action went. He is a red. He is in red, and my note says played a hand like a massive fish. So, and I did get in a pot with him before. I remember, and it was a bit. He did something weird. I'm just going to fold the 5-7. I mean, a speculative hand like that, if we had guys behind, ideally, that were a bit passive and weren't 3-betting a lot and had deep stacks. You know, if these guys here had 8k, I might go ahead and raise it. We've got a short stack. He's going to jam a lot. The big blinds, you know, with that stack depth, jams a fair bit. He's a reg. It is pretty loose. Having said that, of course, he does jam. And... got that one right, and yeah, I just don't think, you know, it's I mean, it's just virtually a pure steal, and I just don't feel that it really works often enough. I mean, as a pure steal, I just don't think it's a great option, but I think it is pretty close. So what I'm really getting at is if we had a little bit more post-flop equity as well, you know, with some deeper stacks. I mean, if we had like a king-jack, different story, you know, because now if we flop top pair, you know, there's hands that we can get in against that we can have crushed. I mean, if the small blind calls a bit light with like a 10-jack, or if the big blind defends with, you know, king-5 suited and flops a king, and we have king-jack, you know, that's easy money. But with the 5-7, you know, we're not going to have any hands dominated. That's why it's that sort of speculative hand where we prefer to have deep stacks. So, you know, it's not going to hit very often, but when it does, you know, we can try and win a big pot. So it just wasn't really a terrific spot. Pretty good spot with the jacks though. Got this Supernova Elite guy on our left. Obviously, this is a pretty good spot because, I mean, yeah, we've got the shorter stacks behind. Well, in all seats except the cutoff and the big blind. I think I might just check back here. It's pretty close. I mean, I would bet sometimes. I think now we have to double check and just let everything get there. Amazing. Can we call? He's in the big blind. I think he might actually have a 9, but I don't think we can fold now. Just in case he's got like just thinks we're giving up and just stabs. Or maybe sometimes, I guess, thin value bets, block bets with 2 pair, but yeah. You know, I mean, that hand is obviously just folding flop. I took a risk to get some value. You know, if the turn's a 5 or something like that, you know, we might be able to get a little value bet out. The turn was a king. So in that spot, we've got the up and down draw. If he's got a king, he's got us beat. I mean, there's not really anything worse that's calling. So I think just... you know, the king is a bit of a scare card for him, basically. So it's just hard to get value. It was just, I mean, it was obviously the worst possible board run out. We really got the worst possible board run out, where we actually end up with him having a straight and us having trips. You know, we probably could have folded river. It's pretty close, but against some no name guy just defending in the big blind, I don't really have a problem with calling the half pot bet there. You know, we only have to be good 25% of the time. So yeah, I mean, it's just the ran out bad. But what normally is going to happen in that spot is the turn's going to repeat, or it's going to come 5 and 5 or a 9 or you know, anything but an ace or a king, basically. Anything but an ace or a king means now we can bet turn, and we might get some light calls. He might bet turn now if we check back flop. If he's got a 10, he might think that's good, and we might be able to get value on the turn and river. You know, so I think it's just it's a balance of trying to get value and induce bluffs. You know, is really what I'm trying to do there. Now, having said that, you know, if we do bet flop, a 10's probably going to call. I mean, if a queen calls, that's bad, right? Because that's got us beat. We might be able to get value from a 10, but, you know, we got the jack blockers as well, so it's less likely. He's got like 10 jack, king, you know, 10 jack or straight with king jack and jack 9, and he is in the big blind. So I mean, a lot of the time he can have sort of a pretty trashy hand, and that's why I decided to do that. I probably do normally just bet flop, you know, just quarter pot, but just in that instance, you know, against some no-name guy there in the blind, I decided to, I wouldn't say get tricky, but just try to take a line where we might be able to get some value. But in the end, we gave value, so, you know, it's, you know, but it wasn't necessarily a hand that needed a lot of protection. You know, I mean, sure, an ace or a king's bad, but even a king gives us the up and down. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't really need that much protection. And hard to get value from too much worse. So when you're in that sort of situation, checking back is always an option to consider. And especially if you think an opponent is potentially going to overbluff, if you do check back, and also if they're going to get perhaps a little bit confused by the check and give you action, which, you know, a lot of these guys would, that I don't have notes on in a... Well, it is 100 rebuy, but I mean, I don't have notes on him, so... I mean, he could be a decent player. But I normally just presume people are donks. think his river bet was okay. I think it was, yeah, it's pretty close. He might be better off betting smaller, just to make sure he gets called by 2 pair hands. I'd probably fold a 2 pair hand. Maybe not the bigger 2 pair hands, just in case he's value betting with worse 2 pair or block betting. Which, you know, you would think, well, why would he do that? Because there's straights out there, but, you know, you and I probably wouldn't, but that doesn't mean these guys aren't going to. You've got to put yourself in the mindset of these guys. And it's not always easy to do. It's a pretty hard thing to do. Six of 60 here. 33 1 rebuy, 1 add-on, so doing okay in that one. Oh, I think Stars just did that wacky thing it does again. Yeah, it has. It's doing that sort of thing where it freezes up. And it actually seems to do it whenever I'm running Camtasia, so maybe the two clash. You can see that we can't see the action properly, and the sounds aren't working properly. So it says check still here, and the action's actually on us, but there's no flashing for us to actually know that it's on us. I think I will check back there. And yeah, I mean, call a turn, obviously. Not really checking back to fold flop, and I don't think there's any point betting river. I mean, nothing worse is going to call. And I don't think we can fold anything better. Maybe an Incy-Wincy pair might consider folding, but he didn't seem very likely to have that. So there's a break in 2 minutes, and I actually will restart Stars, because that's how I can fix this little bug. Which is quite annoying, because it doesn't give me the beeper when it's my turn, when it's the actions on us. I think I just flat that one. 2.5x. We got a nice hand. Good smooth equity distribution. It's going to like a decent percentage of flops. We keep in our opponent's range, which we're likely to dominate. He seems pretty loose. And in this instance, we flop the old king high. Absolutely nothing going on here except, well, we do have the backdoor flush. What am I talking about? We've got a backdoor flush. We've got overcards. So I think this bet size calling one is okay. And if he does check turn, I'm probably going to fire. And the idea of this bet here is just to try and fold out an ace, ace 8, something like that. But it's close. He might not fold it. he might even check raise with it. So, I mean, we're trying to say we had sort of a small to mid pocket. Sometimes we could have a 7. Maybe we floated and hit the 10. And he's got ahead and check raised us, which is an interesting story that he's telling. And I think he just thinks that we actually floated here. And it's like, nope, you have nothing. You floated. Why would you bet on the 10? But at the same time, I don't really want to click it back. So I think I will just give up. I would bet the turn, if we had 5s. I would always bet the turn just for protection. And I don't know what I would do if I had 5s there. It's a pretty tough spot. I do think he's just spazzed out a little bit. Small flop bet, check raise turn. Looked pretty suspicious. But I don't really see it enough. I don't really think he's going to be doing it enough to... I mean, some of the time he's going to have, some sort of bluff hand there. It's a pretty unorthodox line to take, if he's got the overpair sort of thing. Not to say that he wouldn't do it from time to time. So I'm just going to bet here. I think he's going to call down with ace high here, just because he might think we've missed hearts because we led turn. Pocket 3s, yeah, I mean, we're not going to run into that very often. He might have hit the 9 and have 9-10 and that sort of thing. Top right, he's donk bet flop. We've called his check turn. Probably doesn't have a queen. Could very easily have a 7. Could have a deuce or like 4s or something. But a lot of time he's probably just got a hand like Jack 8 of spades and just being a fish. But yeah, well, he actually had the flush draw, so he should have been barreling in that instance. I think he's misplayed his hand. He could have opted for the 3-bet pre. He could have just flatted like he did and check raise flop. He could have, if he does lead flop, I think he needs to barrel it off and set up a good river SPR for jamming. And of course, we're not going to call down in that instance, I don't think, if he takes that line. But worked out pretty good for us. We managed to get the showdown and had the best hand. So on that note, guys, I'm going to wrap up this part, restart stars, and get it working again properly, because this bug is a little bit tilting. But we're going to try and get off tilt, get into a positive mindset, and crush this session. And I'll be back a bit later with more action.